What is happening, fishos? So this evening we're going to look into the world of swivels. What's swivel to buy? Don't know if any of you guys go into the fishing shop and there are racks and rows and so many different types of brands, sizes, different types of swivels. So tonight we're going to run through the different types of swivels. I'm not going to run to really particularly the sizes of the swivels. The size of swivels you're going to pretty much match to the type of fishing you do. I'll be all night talking about all different sizes. You get swivels down from the little size ones to like 4.0 swivels. So all depending on the type of fishing you're doing, you're going to pick the right size swivel compared to that. Brands of swivels, guys, I think the market leaders at the moment, BKK swivels, without a doubt, hands down, one of the best swivels in the market. Centro swivels, Kingfisher swivels, and the Japanese power swivel. There are other brands out there that are just as good. Maybe I haven't mentioned them, but these are the brands that I particularly use. Just be careful. There are a lot of weird brands out there, and don't be disappointed by having an inferior swivel that breaks. A lot of guys skimp and want to spend 5 or 6 rand on a packet of swivels. Well, you're going to get 5 or 6 rand quality. Saying that, you don't have to spend 80 rand on a packet of swivels, all depending on the type of fishing you're doing. So let's first break down. Before we go into the types of swivels, swivels are normally made out of 1 or 2 materials, either brass, which have a black nickel plating, or stainless steel. Stainless steel is really for your top tier type of fishing guys, your marlin fishing, your tuna fishing, where you really need a strong swivel, where you're not going to be losing swivels and things like that. They are a hell of a lot more expensive, but they are a lot stronger, guys. Just for interest sake, normal, that's a stainless steel swivel there. Not a big swivel. That's pretty much got a breaking strain of 330 pounds. A normal brass swivel in that class would probably have a breaking point of about 80 pounds, guys. So they're probably 3 or 4 times stronger than a brass swivel. But 80 pounds on a brass swivel, that size is more than enough. You're probably fishing 40-pound, 30 or 40-pound line. So 80-pound swivel is more than strong enough. Your line's going to part before your swivel parts. So those are pretty much the 2 different types of materials that swivels are made out of. So let's have a look at the different types of swivels running out there. We're going to start with the, not entry-level swivel, but the most basic swivel. Your normal standard barrel swivel, wire barrel swivel, guys. The most affordable swivel of the lot, and will get you through almost any aspect of fishing. Nice wire barrel swivels, nice if you're doing a bit of river fishing. If you're fishing off the rocks or the bricks, we are throwing a lot of swivels away because they're a bit more affordable. Is the #1 choice of swivel there. So that's pretty much the everyday swivel you're going to find in every guy's fishing box. I carry these by the hundreds. Most of my rock, or 99% of my rock fishing, is done with a normal standard brass barrel swivel. Going on from there, the next swivel, what we call a roller swivel. Very similar to the barrel swivel in design. It's just you see it's got a little cylindrical centerpiece. These swivels run a bit more freely, so if you are fishing in heavier currents, you're going to get a little bit less spin on your baits and things like that. And because of the design, they are a lot stronger than what your normal barrel swivel is. We call them power swivels, but they're actually called roller swivels or sometimes crane swivels, depending on the thickness. So these, especially the guys targeting the non-eds, I know they're particularly popular because of their strength to size ratio. You don't have to put such a big swivel on, so you can keep your terminal tackle size down with getting the same strength. And everyone's going to say, why would you want a smaller swivel? Well, especially if you're fishing off the surf and into the surf and there's a lot of weed and things like that around. The smaller the swivel, the less amount of weed you're going to pick up and things like that, guys. Make sure you're going to cast a little bit further, and there's a lot of things that does help you. So power swivels, I think your Japanese power swivel, the BKK, also make a brilliant power swivel. Something to look at out there, also not that expensive. And then a bit of a combination from that is what we call a power combination swivel. It's pretty much a roller swivel. I'm actually going to get one out of these packets here just to show you guys. I'll pay for this packet, guys. It's fun. You can't really get a good, excuse my teeth here. Indication of what I'm actually talking about unless I open this one up. Okay. Very similar to your roller swivel. As I said, the roller swivel, nice solid pieces of wire with a nice roller in the middle. Spins quite freely, and then it has another swivel attached to it. So what you do is main line on, bait off the bottom and sinker off the side, guys. So you get a nice spin for your sinker when the sea is turning around a bit. So that is another combination a lot of guys fish with. I like to fish that off the rocks, especially targeting black steelmass is one of my favorite swivels to use. So that's what we call a combination swivel. Moving on to there, for the really serious guys, that there's guys targeting big marlin, big tuna, and things like that. The strongest and most free-flowing swivel of them all is what we call a bearing swivel, guys. So instead of the wire just running through a cylinder, it actually has a bearing inside of it. So these are really free running swivels, especially if you're doing a lot of trolling and things like that, where you're getting a lot of a line twist in your line and things like that. It's definitely a good option to use. It's not the sort of swivel you want to be casting off the surf and off the bricks. They are the most expensive. You're looking at 40, 50, 60, 80 rand a swivel. But they are the strongest and they are the most free flowing swivel of them all. So if the guys are doing a lot of trolling, a lot of lure casting, pretty much a swivel you want to look at, pretty much more of a lure swivel than an actual bait swivel. So have a look at a roller bearing swivel. That is pretty much your top tier of where swivels come to, and they normally come in stainless steel, so they're not going to rust. They are going to last you a long time. So definitely worth their money. So those are your normal inline swivels, guys. We'll get those out the way. Then we get some swivel variations. So I know Andrew, this is the biggest fan of that. It's what we call a three-way swivel. Particularly useful for the deep sea guys, where you are fishing vertically. That's what they're actually designed for, and you want maybe to put 2 or 3 baits off one line. You can run a T-swivel down with a piece of bait out, down to another piece of bait out, then down to your sinker. Also phenomenally and well used off the rocks. A lot of the bluefish fishermen out there, guys use them, and the shad use them out there. It's not a swivel you want to use in high currents, because the swivel is not free flowing. You're going to get a lot of line twisting and things like that. But if the water is not rough and things like that, a good swivel to use, what we call a little T-swivel, or commonly known as a three-way swivel. There's a lot of misbelief out there that these swivels are weaker than all the other swivels out there. I don't think so, guys. I think there are just some bad brands out there that have brought these swivels in, and because they're a bit cheaper, guys are buying them. So if you're buying a good quality, if you're buying something like a Kingfisher, this thing is strong. I've seen it pull big fish out. So makes rigging up a bit easier too, guys. You don't having 2 pieces of line onto one ring. Each ring has got its own piece of line on it. So if you are fishing off the rocks, very good swivel to use. The 3-way swivel. Then there's something called a 3-way T-swivel. It's a variation of that. And Andrew will throw some shots of it up. You can actually see how it works. So you've got a swivel end, and then the third piece can actually rotate on its own. So it's not fixed into a center ring. This is the type of swivel you want to be using in super high currents, guys. So if the currents are super high and there's a lot of water rushing past, it's a type of thing you want to be using there. There is minimal, no twist. Also a brilliant swivel to use for live bait, where your live bait's going to be swimming around. It's going to give that live bait that freedom of movement. So those are your 2 3-way swivels. If you're fishing off the rocks with a stationary bait, normal 3-way or 3-way swivel. And if you are fishing extremely high current areas, look at something like a T-swivel. And last but not least, snaphook swivel, guys. A bit of a variation. So in theory, it's a roller swivel with a little snaphook on. Where would we use something like this? I think for the guys that want to do quick change arounds, and a lot of the guys that are fishing league, they might have a couple of traces done up in their bag, and they're carrying 1 or 2 rods, and they're targeting some bluefish, or they're targeting some small sand sharks, and the bite changes. They might be putting a bigger bait out. Instead of having to retie a knot, they normally have one of these little clips into the next swivel, and they can just change their rigs on from one sort of trace to another trace. And then lure fishermen, you're having 10 or 15 throws of the lure, that particular color, or that particular, your stick bait's not working, you want to change into a popper. It's a nice quick change. So that's something to look at. Every lure fisherman definitely know what I'm talking about here. And if you wanted to change rigs quite quickly, it's quite a nice little swivel. So snaphook swivel. So those pretty much are the different types of swivels out there, guys. I hope it makes your life a bit informative. I'd say to anyone new to fishing, starting out, I think just start with the normal barrel swivel. I've fished with these growing up all my years, and I've never lost a fish because of the incorrect swivel. But as your fishing techniques get more advanced, start looking at other swivels that will help you and aid and just give you that extra little bit of edge, keeping your bait, your live bait a lot live longer, because it's not spinning as much. putting your baits in the right areas, and if you're targeting larger fish, to prevent tackle failure. Anyway, guys, hope that was informative and tells you all a little bit about more swivels. Don't forget, all these swivels we have showed you are available at Bull Moria, so have a look at them. And then get out there, grab your favorite brand. I think brand doesn't make a big issue as long as it's a good quality brand. And hope it helps you catch some more fish, guys. Anyway, until next time, we'll see you all soon. Cheers.